Hi, my name is Alman Ainzer. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of APTV. Today I got Ned Radojcic from Ned's Bakery. Ned's Bakery is an awesome new retail concept that really focuses on the bread. And Ned is an immigrant from Serbia who came into Australia in the 80s and through a long, exciting, interesting journey has come to create and develop Ned's Bakery. So, we're going to get some good insights into how you've come to do this and what makes a good retail concept and a following like you've created in a relatively short period of time. When did you open your first store?
We opened the first store in 2017, 6th of January.
Wow. So not that long ago, and Ned's Bakery is the preeminent bakery cafe in Melbourne now.
Yes.
So we look forward to breaking into how you did that and share what you can with anyone watching this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You've immigrated to Australia from Serbia in the mid-'80s. You started waiting tables in Carlton. Fast forward 35 years.
30 years, yeah.
30 years. You're married, you have a child, and you're created this Ned's Bakery concept, which is obviously taken off incredibly well. What is it like immigrating to a country like Australia in the 80s? And now when you meet immigrants here today, is it the same mindset and mentality as immigrants had in the 80s?
It's very funny when you say you migrate here from Europe. I never thought I was going to migrate. I thought I was traveling and I was just in transit here. And then I find myself 32 years still in the same spot. It's a very funny mindset. I think the
Are you not settled yet though?
I am. And definitely this is my home. It's funny, I go back home and I spend time with my mom and my family, and 7 days later I'm thinking I have to go home because this is actually my home now, And the good thing is that no matter the 32 years passed since I moved here, I think the fundamental rules didn't change. The people who come from overseas, they only come here because they're looking for better life. And if there is a hunger behind, the success is ahead of you. That's the fundamental difference between all the migrants who come here and Australians who are born here. It's the hunger.
I read a lot about you online in preparation for this interview, and you talk about a lot about your passion for bread, and then how you kind of turned that passion into a business. Why bread, and why did it take so long for you to build a business around your passion? Because you're an engineer by trade?
Yes,
by training?
I'm an aircraft engineer by trade, and I think like all of us, I was looking for that very things to do which will take me to this level where I am today. When I came to Australia, I couldn't work as an engineer. I didn't have a residency, and no matter that my university and my trade is recognized here, I didn't have a residency. I couldn't work in that field, and I had to start from somewhere else, from the very bottom.
Which is waiting tables in Carlton.
Yes.
That was your first job, right?
Correct.
What were you getting paid back then?
I was paid $10 an hour, and we used to have a share meal together.
Wow.
And that was it.
How many hours a week did you work?
Not less than 60.
60 hours?
Correct. They're the old days in hospitality. Today, I'm 38, and I love when one of my staff says to me, I worked this week 43 hours.
Do you celebrate?
And they looked at me. I said, I do exactly the same till Wednesday. What do you do after that? It's really funny when you're a migrant and you come from the southern European part of the world. Bread has this amazing meaning. It's the very beginning of meal, And I remember days when we're sitting around the table and we can't start a meal before my grandpa cuts the bread, And being in hospitality, I was looking for that very concept, the new concept to introduce to Melbourne. I didn't want to just open another restaurant. And then I saw something similar in Europe, and I tried to replicate, but I gave my own spin. And this is where we are.
So what is Ned's Bakery? How would you describe it to someone who's never seen it?
Ned's originally was a Ned's Bakery, but then today is Ned's because it's much more than a bakery. Correct. And it's much more than a bakery. It's a place where you come buy bread, but you sit down and have a pastry, meet your friends, have a lunch. Come on Saturday after a big night out and have a breakfast and a prosecco. It's not just a bakery. We have a bread as a product, and we try to perfect it and make it amazing, but it's much more than a bakery.
And is the bread only sold in your stores, or are you wholesaling now?
We wholesale. We have close to 200 customers. We have a factory in Cremon. We try to have the perfect balance between wholesale and retail. I think because of my partner's amazing experience, we're trying to shift the whole trend towards retail and minimize wholesale. Try to find those very customers who are becoming our partners, and have a small number of them and focus on retail, because I think that we know retail.
Right. So you talk a lot about retail, but everyone's saying retail is dead and it's all going online or it's going wholesale, and stores are a thing of the past. Ned's
Is retail.
is retail, and your expansion plan is in retail as well?
Correct.
Don't you read the papers?
I totally disagree. I believe, and my partner who started and founded this amazing business, T2, we believe exactly the same. Retail is not dead. Bad retail is dead. New retail has to be a bigger experience, better experience. You have to walk in a shop and you have to give a customer's amazing experience. And then retail becomes something else. Then customer doesn't want to go online. He has to come to your shop because he's buying the very experience. And that's what is, I think, difference between the dead retail and the new retail.
How many stores do you have?
Well, so far we have 3 of our stores, and we have 1 small concession store. But we're trying to expand. Our aim is to have maybe something like 15 stores.
The last shop you leased, right? What got you excited and engaged to lease that shop? And what got you over the line? And when you deal with a landlord or a leasing agent, what do you expect? Like, what works and what doesn't work?
It's interesting. I'm gonna use again my partner Marian's line, because
The woman from T2, Marion.
Yes. I think there is no scientific answer in what it takes to find it and that shop and take you over the line to sign the lease for that very position. We both of us walk around and look for that place, and then we believe that's the very spot. Then we look for demographics around it. We look. Is it on a corner? Is it on sunny side of the street? But then, literally, there is something inside of you what ticks and makes you cross over the line. I never let an agent convince me that that's the spot. Agent gives me the options, but then at the very end, my internal instinct takes me over the line, And the other thing is, when I talk to my agent, I only expect from him communication, amazing communication skills and absolute honesty, because agent is always giving me what he has, and I'm looking for something what I need, and we have to meet midday in the middle, But I need this great communication line between us. That's the only thing, and honesty, absolute honesty at any given time, because agent only represents a developer or the owner of the property on one side, and he has to tell me at any given time where we are really standing. That's the only thing what I expect from my agent.
So you know what you want. You're just looking for someone to efficiently and clearly give you the information that you need.
Correct.
Quickly.
Correct.
And clearly. And cut out the noise.
Correct.
So the sales spins and all the convincings and the promises.
No, I really don't, because I'm looking for that very property. And if I have a great feel about the property, as I told you, that great instinct inside, I just need my agent to give me the technical details, the very honest and very clear details about that property. And then that's my last 5%, which will take me over the line and tell me, yes, this is, once I do my mathematics, I realize this is definitely the place that I want to be.
But you're 95% there before you arrive.
Correct.
What's your advice to anyone starting a retail business now in Melbourne or in Australia?
As you mentioned before, you have to find first, what is that what turns you on? What is that when you get up in the morning, which makes you happy and excited? That's step one. And then you have to do your own little calculation in hand and do your homework. Where do you want to go or where do you want to be? And then after that, you're looking for retail shop. And I think today that whatever you do in retail, meaning hospitality, retail, you have to have a shop. I'm a great believer in having a shop.
Can't sell pictures.
Correct. The very shop is that little window into what you do. And even if you are not, even if you're officially online business, it's great to have one shop. And that shop gives customer amazing experience, as we said, and then gives them option to go online and buy it again. There is no experience like a beautiful retail experience. And I think that we forgot in this country what it is. I think that we have to learn again. We have to go back to Europe and learn again what is that amazing retail. Yeah, I think so. I think Europe and in the States as well, to learn what is that amazing retail experience.
What is the best retail experience you've seen?
Prada shop in Milano. This two-level shop which goes underground of Duomo, where you go in and you sit down and guy asks you for a name. He looks for his database and he sees that you've been there already a few times. He brings you the mineral water, makes you sit down, makes you a coffee, brings you the leather bag in white gloves and harasses that bag and talks into buying. That very connection between that person who runs the retail in the shop and you. And that's what we forgot. Today, we in this country, we believe that we almost below that level. We believe that we are above the customer, that we shouldn't go that low and make him excited to buy the product.
That's the same warmth that you talk about when you say good morning to your customers.
Absolutely.
The white gloves and that good morning is the same mentality.
It's part of everything. Part of the beautiful circle of bringing the customer in and selling him your little concept and making him go out completely satisfied.
A lot of landlords and developers are trying to create retail experiences and bring retailers into their properties or precincts to create these experiences, whether they're artisans, whether it's food, whether it's bigger brands. When placemaking a precinct, what does work and what doesn't work on the landlord's perspective?
Yes. I think the landlord, the biggest issue with landlord is finding the person who curates the retail fabric of that development site. And I think that's the real art. And I think that there are very few people in this country know it, and that's why there is one family who owns the Chetstone and there is another family who owns the Westfield, and they're the masters of it. I think it's very important being able to go out and curate who is coming to your shopping center, to your little shopping precinct. We see that places like Chapel Street died over the last 20 years because of it. Because people individually owning didn't have a vision how to create this precinct. I can see we're now moved to Armadale and High Street is suddenly changing because people are really thinking deep, who is the person, who is the retailer that we should invite into our precinct and let it come? Because that very decision determines where is that whole area going.